Welcome to the film podcast with Declan and Owen. I don't really have a name for it yet, so we'll see how it goes. But basically, I just wanted to set up a platform where I could go to the guru that is Owen Diplock for film, and bash his head open and see what knowledge comes out about film.
That's a bit violent.
Yeah, it's a little bit. What shall we start about? I want to start about American Honey.
Okay.
Because it was most definitely maybe my favourite film of 2016.
Ooh, okay, yeah. It's definitely up there for me. I'd say, I don't know, top 5? Within the top 5, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I think it definitely was for me. But like, why do you feel it was at that high level for an indie film? Because that's what it was.
I think the main draw for me was Shia Labeouf. I'm a big fan of Shia Labeouf. People that know me know that. Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a film for a while, so I was like, oh, okay. Look, heard about this American Honey film. Andrea Arnold directing it. Brilliant British female indie filmmaker. She doesn't make films very often. I think the last thing she did was Wuthering Heights. It was weird. Wuthering Heights, that is. Quite sparse, quite brutal depiction of Wuthering Heights. But yeah, so I was interested to see American Honey. I'd heard a little bit about it. Apparently, she read in a newspaper that there are these things in America called mag crews, and they go around the whole of America selling magazines door to door. And she picked up on this idea and was like, "Yeah, I really like it. Let's run with it." And so she kind of half wrote this script, and then she cast it from. Apparently, she went around parking lots in California or LA or wherever it's set. I can't remember. And just cast kids off the street, and it just sounded like a brilliant idea. And the more I heard about it, the more I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a film for me. Like the soundtrack came out, and I read through the whole track listing, and I was like, yeah, there's some really good songs on this. And the cinematographer Robbie Ryan has always done great work in the past. Yeah, so I was very excited to go and see it, and I think all of those things combined made it a great film for me. That's probably. Yeah, that's why I enjoyed it so much.
With the addition of Shia, just absolutely convinced you.
Oh, 100. I'll go see anything with Shia LaBeouf in. That's why it was such a shame that his most recent film, Man Down, just wasn't shown anywhere. Like, I really wanted to go and see that. It was getting awful reviews everywhere, but I still wanted to see it because I like Shia LaBeouf.
That's fair. Even Indiana Jones.
No, we'll gloss over that.
But yeah, it was a weird one for me because why I connected with it so much was bizarre because I don't feel like I should have in the best way. I've told you before, but like I don't they really show these cool like 20-somethings and how cool it can be to just travel across America. And I don't think I have the balls to do that or like to be that outgoing and like just drop everything, even though like some of them have had awful backgrounds and stuff like that. Maybe you're a bit more willing to travel and stuff like that, but
it's that free spirit thing,
I don't think I'm a free spirit really, but I still connected in a way, and that was what really like convinced me, because I was like, why am I connecting with this?
Why do I care about these people?
And it still got me. And then like you mentioned, the soundtrack was awesome.
Really, really good.
It was incredible. But yeah, I wanted to on my notes I'd just written Shia LaBeouf. I'd forgotten the B before, so it was just Shia LaBeouf. And I'd just written Man down next to it because I wrote what's next for Shia, apart from he's not going to be known for all his art projects, even though recently that's what he's famous for. What's next in the
I don't know actually. I think so for acting. I think the only thing I actually know about is he's doing this John McEnroe biopic. Is it John McEnroe?
Yeah, he's doing that.
McEnroe versus I can't remember what it is, but he's doing a biopic of John McEnroe, which sounds really interesting. I assume he's not the world's most athletic person. It'd just be interesting to see him.
Yeah, So I'd written that down earlier, and then when I got into looking at news, there was a Shia LaBeouf thing that he's been cast for, and he's been attached to star in a new indie film called The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Right. Okay.
And it's written by men called Tyler Nilsson and Mike Schwartz that I'm not familiar
No,
with.
don't recognise those
They're
names.
both directing the film.
Okay.
But it's basically, Variety described it as it's got the feel of a Mark Twain story.
Cool. That's
and
nice.
There's a mixture of wrestling in there.
Nice.
It's about a young man with Down syndrome who runs away from a nursing home to pursue his dream of wrestling.
So is
and then
Labeouf the...
Labeouf is this, they describe him as a small-time outlaw also on the run, who becomes an unexpected coach and ally to Zach.
Oh, that sounds really good. I like the Mark Twain reference there. That's really cool. It's kind of got that road movie feel, I guess, to it. Kind of like On the Road by Jack Kerouac or something like that. That sounds like something I'd go and watch. Just for like you telling me the story there, that makes me want to go and see it. And Shia's attached as well. Sounds great.
But it was just funny. Like I was because I knew I was talking to you. I was like, right, I'll start with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
and then I got down to the end when I was doing the news bit, and literally one of the first things that came up was about Shia, and I was like, how can I put that at the end and sound like an idiot? But yeah. So that's what's next for him. But I remember us talking about the biopics. So that should be interesting. But it'd be nice to see if Mandal's going to come out on DVD. Maybe.
Yeah, it should be. I'd assume within the month, something like that. I think with films like that, they find their home on DVD. Home releasing stuff like that. A lot of films that don't do too well in the cinema, like something like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, that springs to mind. Apparently, that had an awful run in the cinema. Didn't make a lot of money, but it found its home on DVD. Like people love it now.
So. So next thing I wanted to focus on some new film releases that we haven't, that neither of us have seen yet. But what you're expecting from them, and what you, if you feel you're gonna like them, what you've seen from their trailers. Yeah. So I wanted to start with one you guessed earlier was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah. Which is Marvel's next raid into space again, being directed by James Gunn again, with Chris Pratt leading. But what are you expecting from that?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm not the world's biggest Marvel fan. There are some I've liked. Like I liked Incredible Hulk. I liked the first Guardians film. I didn't really know what to expect when I went into that. I hadn't really liked many of the ones before that, and I went in and I was like, this is really good. They sort of mined that really silly humour out of it, and I think from there Marvel have gone, oh, this is great, and they've done that with all the others, and I think that's kind of worn off a bit now. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I think I'm looking forward to it. I think one of the other things that draws me to it is Kurt Russell being cast as Chris Pratt's dad.
The real Star-Lord.
Yeah, there you go. And this whole thing about the awesome mixtape Volume 2 or whatever it is, that's quite interesting.
I think they're going to struggle to beat the first one, but
that was one of the best things about it.
But that's what, as a bigger Marvel fan, I think that's what I'm expecting Guardians 2 to be, is to be a good film on paper, and you'll go in and you won't come out with a bad taste in your mouth. But I don't think it's going to touch the first one.
Do you think that they're just, for this new mixtape, do you reckon they've just slung a load of good songs together? Does that worry you?
It's difficult because the point of the first mixtape is that it's from the original comic. That was like the biggest part, and that's the one thing he keeps from leaving Earth. Yeah. And then obviously they did it differently at the end of Guardians 1, where he finds this mixtape too.
Okay, that's interesting.
But like you look at it on paper, and there's not as many bangers on there that like straight away. So it's bizarre, but that's what I'm expecting it to be an okay film, but I don't think it'll touch the thing. But they've already announced a third one that's going to be after the next two Avenger films.
Blimey. They've announced two more of those. Oh yeah, there's part 1 and part 2. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
I will go and see it. Like, I definitely will go and see it. I really enjoyed the first one. I saw the trailer again recently because I've seen the trailer a few times. The first few times I just didn't get into it, and then I think seeing it at the cinema made me go, okay, I think I get what's going on here. And then Kurt Russell popping up at the end's a bonus, but it does make me want to go and see it. That trailer, definitely.
That's fair. And you'll be excited about the next one. Okay. Alien Covenant.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Directed by Ridley Scott again.
I think that's just seeing the trailer, Christmas Day, that was a fantastic thing to come out. Like before I'd even properly woken up, I was like scrolling through Twitter. I saw, new Alien trailer. I was like, all right, go on then, give it a go. I've become, because I saw Prometheus and I loved it, and I think the more I think about it, the more I go, oh no, I'm not so keen on it as much as I was. I'm not as keen on it anymore. But I saw that Alien Covenant trailer, and like from the first 30 seconds, you're in, and it's like bang. Okay, here we go. Cool, we're fine. We're in safe hands. Ridley Scott. You got some fantastic actors in there. I can't remember her name, but she was recently in Inherent Vice, and I think was she in The Nice Guys? I can't remember the actress's name.
I can't remember.
But she's great. I know. Oh no, she was in Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
Yeah, I've forgotten her name, but she's great. Like, I think that's a really good casting. And then it's good to see Michael Fassbender back, but as a different android this time, which is cool. And then, actually seeing the Xenomorph again. That's great. That's really, really good. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for it. A summer release as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit bizarre, but it'll make people go to the cinema. And it's an 18 as well. That's the other thing. That was the thing that was missing from Prometheus. Prometheus was a 15?
Yeah, it was 15.
That was the thing that was missing from it. That's why Aliens are also good, because they're 18 rated films.
The big thing I noted on it was Danny McBride, because I wanted to talk about that, because I really appreciate stuff like that when someone that has been a silly actor, a silly American actor, so that he's always been part of the Seth Rogen sort of group, and that those are the films you see him in. Yeah. So it's nice to see
being serious
people like that, and just like he obviously, like, you don't know how it went about, whether he properly auditioned or like, I imagine he did, but like it's cool, and then Ridley Scott's seen that, and just and
definitely
it's taken that, and like because you can see plenty of them when they do, like, if an actor like did a bad horror movie, like a B movie horror film, but this is not a B movie horror film. It's not
B movie,
you know, like this is Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
But the other thing I noticed, I saw, the pop vinyls.
Yes. I've seen some of those.
I saw one for Alien Covenant the other day. It came up on my Twitter, I think, and it was Billy Crudup's character who's playing the captain in this, and you see in the trailer a face hugger goes on his face, and the pop vinyl is just him with a face hugger on his face.
Brilliant.
And I was like, I know they spoiled it in the trailer, but that is still another big spoiler in a way.
It's becoming more and more common, just putting spoilers in trailers. It's really bizarre. Like, I think it's Fast and Furious 8, the most recent one. They have the final shot of the film in the trailer. They have the final line of dialogue in the trailer of the film. Yeah, I'm not a fan of spoilers in trailers, but
it just really got me, because I remember seeing it in the trailer, and you're like, you guess that his character's probably dead, like gonna die,
or it happens early on.
Yeah, and then I just saw this toy, and I was like, okay, like, it was. I think the toy is more for the face hugger than for his character.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
so bizarre.
That's odd. I'm not a fan of that.
Next, I've got King Arthur written down.
Oh God.
Guy Ritchie's new film. I'm excited for it purely because of Charlie Hunnam. I'm obsessed with Charlie Hunnam ever since Sons of Anarchy. I think it's one of my favourite series of all time. I can confidently say that.
I mean, I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, but what I have seen Charlie Hunnam in, I've loved. Crimson Peak, again, fantastic horror film, or ghost story, romance, whoever you're taking notes from. And most recently, Lost City of Z, a film which I thought he was great in, and I really enjoyed the film. There were some things wrong with it, but it was a good film. This, I'm not so sure. I'm not the world's biggest Guy Ritchie fan. I think it's incredibly on the nose. David Beckham's just slung in there for a laugh.
Well, they're best pals, so I feel like it's pretty cool stuff like that. But it just seems that it's what was the other one we had in like 2008 or 2005?
Is this one called Legend of the Sword, or is that the previous
this
one?
One's called Legend of the Sword. I think the other one was just called King Arthur or Arthur, and that was like very realistic.
Yeah,
like,
this one's incredibly stylized.
Everywhere, like it's very crazy in a way, and they're fully. I feel like he's just you can either like be in the mid. You could either be in the middle or go realistic, or they've just gone the other end of the spectrum and just gone fully over the top.
I do respect that. He's kept his. It's very Guy Ritchie. It's very stylistic. You know, you've got this mechanical editing that's like bang, 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 bang. You've got stuff like GoPros. Like the first few shots, they're running through these streets and they've got, you know, GoPros or smaller cameras mounted on their shoulders. You don't see a lot of that mixed with the historic content, so I find that quite interesting.
Because it's a very modern concept in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's brave, I think. But yeah, I don't know what I'm expecting. I also write down Jude Law.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. I think that's the main thing that draws it to me. I love Jude Law. He's done some great stuff recently. Black Sea I really enjoyed, actually. Grand Budapest Hotel. He's got The Young Pope, which I haven't actually seen, but I've heard good things about. But that's the one thing that draws me to King Arthur.
He's always been a good villain, I think. I think it's
definitely.
Considering
that sort of like all British. In the eyes. Yeah. All in the eyes. Very spooky.
So I don't know what you'll think of this, but the final film I wrote down was Baywatch with the big man, The Rock. And Zac Efron. I don't actually know who is directing that. I'm not sure.
Don't want to know.
I imagine The Rock could do it all if he wanted to.
Yeah, easily.
It's The Rock. But this is bizarre because I remember when this first got announced like a year and a bit ago or something. It was about 2 years ago, I reckon. And they were never clear as if it was a reboot of the series or like a completely remake of the series, or if it was going to be a film. And I kept seeing loads of contrasting articles about if it was a series or if it was a film, and then all of a sudden it's a film.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was just me like vaguely looking at it. I'm not the biggest Baywatch fan, but it was just it's The Rock.
Either. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
I think it's gonna make money. Like people will love it, and that's why he's involved. I think
it's not suited to the 21st century. I don't think.
No.
Maybe early, maybe noughties, but films like that shouldn't be made now. You've still got, you know, just gratuitous shots of women running along in beaches scantily clad. That I don't think there's a space for that on cinema screens anymore. I'm not going to go and see it, just flat out. That doesn't interest me, to be honest.
That's fair. That's what I expected you to say.
Yeah, no.
So moving on to the next part, I wanted to talk about Beauty and the Beast.
Nice.
Because I know you've seen. I haven't seen it yet. But you have seen it, and I wanted to get your opinion on that, like a brief opinion on that, and then also let's talk about like this whole live action thing that Disney, this project that they're going with at the moment. Yeah,
it's strange. I know they've done a few. So they've done Cinderella, they've done Beauty and the Beast, they did the who's the enemy in Snow White, the Maleficent film as well. I've only seen the Beauty and the Beast one, and I thought it was okay. You know, there were some great points in it. So Luke Evans is the standout thing for me. He's born to play the role of Gaston. That whole sequence, the Gaston song, was brilliant. The rest of it was just kind of middling for me. I think part of that is Emma Watson. I'm not so sure if she can sing. You know, she can act pretty well, but I just don't think she suited that role really. I don't think it translates very well to live action. A lot of the CGI is quite rickety. Near the start, there's this big wide shot of all the hills in it, and she, you know, they're mirroring that shot from the start of The Sound of Music, where the camera whirls around and she's running up the hill, and the background's just it looks terrible. It's really poorly green screened. But other than the errors, I just thought it was okay. There's some great castings there. You got Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, the lamp. That's brilliant. Ian McKellen as the clock, which I think he's quite underused there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was all right. I don't think it was needed. I don't think it was necessary. Because there was, you know, you've got the original Disney cartoon version. There's a French version from the 50s, which is quite good. And I think there was a TV series in the 90s as well. But
there was the Ron Perlman's.
Who was
that? He played the Beast. I remember he won an award for it.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
I'm an avid Ron Perlman fan. Yeah. And I remember him tweeting the day Beauty and the Beast comes out, and he was like, it will never touch mine. I believe it was a TV series.
It was in the 90s.
But yeah, he was the Beast in that.
Wow.
And he had this outrageous looking the makeup for it. His hair was crazy.
I need to go and see this.
But that was another film I want to talk about Beast, because that was the one as someone that hasn't seen it, the one bit of news I really saw come out of it, and what I heard from other people was that the Beast was a bit too handsome.
I disagree. I don't think so. I think that actually saying about the rickety CGI earlier. I think the CGI for the Beast was fantastic, but I don't think he was too good looking at all. I think he was quite scary at some stages. Certainly for I don't know, the people it's aimed at. 5, 6, 7-year-old people, children. That's the word.
There's actually been quite a lot of things of Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Yeah, it was a 1987 TV series with Ron Perlman.
There you go. Wow, that's bizarre. No, I don't think the Beast was too good looking. No, I disagree with that. The other thing I would say about it is, Disney had this huge thing about how I can't remember the character's name, but there's this character who's kind of almost in love with Gaston, and he's Disney's first gay character. There's no real allusion to that. I think, you can. It's just seen as some guy that just really likes him. There's only, a little sort of 1 second shot at the end where you could potentially allude from that the person's gay. But okay. I think I think they made a big deal out of that when a lot of people, I doubt even noticed it.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's interesting. I wanted to get your opinion on that. He won a Golden Globe, Ron Perlman.
Nice.
That's
there
what
you
he
go.
won.
There you go.
Big man, Ron. Let's talk a film we watched together the other day.
Okay.
Your favourite film.
Yeah.
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, Inside Llewyn Davis. Good film.
Why is it your favourite?
I think... So I try and watch it maybe twice a year, something like that, and I never get bored. Straight away, I never get bored. There are some films, you could probably watch them, I don't know, a couple years after you first saw it, still get quite bored by it. It's great. It's a tough one to describe because it's probably not the best film ever made, but for me, it's my favourite. It's such a profoundly sad film. Like last time we watched it a few days ago, and I just thought it's an incredibly sad film. This guy just goes from worst to worst to worst to worst, and I don't know if that says something about me. It makes me feel better about myself, but I don't know. There's something about it I really love. You've got Oscar Isaac there, who's a fantastic actor, playing this folk singer with a cat. He, he wakes up on someone's sofa, and he accidentally lets the cat out. And he's just riding around on subways and in cold cars and stuff, carrying this cat around. And I think, what's not to love about that? You get almost a whole album's worth of songs crammed into this 100-minute film. It's great. You get, the film opens with a 3-minute, scene where he's literally just playing a song in a bar. And I think that's a great way to open a film.
No, it was a bizarre one for me because I've always known it's your favourite film, but I've never actually sat down and watched it. And we actually watched it, and it was a weird one for me because I don't know what I was expecting. You'd shown me the song ages ago from it, and I'd listened to that, so that was like the one part I was really excited for. But I did really enjoy it, and like you said, it is really depressing. Not as an audience member, it's depressing, but it's just depressing to see like
that
certain people go through that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I really liked Oscar Isaac. Everything he touches at the moment turns to gold.
I think that was the thing that kicked it all off for him, because the Coen brothers, who wrote and directed it, they were looking for someone. They were like, right, should we cast a musician that's also an actor, or should we cast an actor that's also a musician, not a magician?
That'd be a different film.
Yeah, very different film. And they found Oscar Isaac. He's played in punk bands, played in ska bands, but he's big into his folk music, and he can play guitar and he can sing. And they were like, right. It's a bonus. I read somewhere recently, actually, that Ryan Reynolds was he auditioned for that role. Yeah.
Wow.
And
that would have been a completely
different film.
It would have been I don't know. There were some really funny moments in there.
It's a very funny film.
The thing I found really bizarre was Carey Mulligan's act in certain scenes when she'd go absolutely mental, and it was bizarre because I think if you would have watched a lot of actors do that. You would have laughed.
Yeah.
And you would have gone, they like you would have giggled a little bit because she was so angry.
Yeah,
like you can really hear it. But it made me uncomfortable because it was like when you witness an argument and you're like sort of stuck in the middle,
be there.
and you're like, oh, I don't really want to be.
Yeah,
and it was like that, and it was very bizarre. The big thing I did a lot of interest in because I'm an avid fan of Mumford & Sons.
Oh yeah,
much to your disappointment.
Yeah.
But so Marcus Mumford had a big part with a lot of the songs that were written, and that I thought that was really cool. That's something I found out afterwards that makes me go, that's really cool, just because I'm a fanboy. So, but that is just really nice, and I didn't know he was married to Carey Mulligan, and that was how.
I don't know if it came from
no,
that.
I did read it was. I think she might have been cast because of him.
Whoa.
I think it might have been that. You know, I think I can't remember if it's that or the other way around. I might get in trouble for saying that. But yeah, the other thing for me is I don't think I'm a Coen Brothers fan. Really? I don't think I'm I really like them, and I like their every time I see their films. It's like the sort of thing I watch a film, not knowing it's a Coen Brothers film.
There you go. Yeah.
And then I'll go, oh, I really enjoyed that,
Yeah.
and that's that. And then I never like then look at, oh, when's the next Coen Brothers film coming out? It's always like I just enjoy them every time I watch a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah.
So it was quite nice for me, and it was just nice to have finally watched it. So you could stop going on about it. But so. The next bit I wanted to go on to was just talking about the latest news that I'd picked up today and just get your opinion on it.
Okay.
There's one we've already spoken about was Fate of the Furious, which Fast and Furious 8.
Yeah.
And they're top of the box office because they made altogether $192 million in the US, and that pushed it worldwide. Because I think they made like 790 worldwide, and that's pushed it over $1 billion.
That's scary.
And
that's a scary
I just
amount
wanted
of
to get
money.
your opinion on the French, because I think they've already announced they're making another one. And
yeah, I assume so.
Why do you feel it? Because it's still good filmmaking, but like you as a filmmaker, like you don't like it, and I feel like a lot of like actual people like that, but everyone involved, and it really connects with the general populace, I feel, and that's why everyone goes, oh, new Fast and Furious films, go see that.
So I think my view on it is, it's the first one, the first few I'd say were quite good. They had this real sort of underground grit to it that I think the latest ones have just lost. They're these huge glossy pictures with, loads of stars and loads of cars and loads of women and, big loud music. And the first ones still did have all those things, but there was this grit under the fingernails to it. It was still very underground. It was like, we shouldn't be talking about this, all these people racing around in cars at night time. It was there was something kind of cool about that, but now it's sort of turned a bit too far into a blockbuster. It's got that kind of James Bondy Marvel kind of film feel to it. It's an event when one of these films come out, and not particularly an event I'd like to attend, but
you sounded like an angry old man when you were first describing that.
I think I am.
Big music,
big music, yeah, women. It's what people want to see, I think, and I don't think I'm part of that group of people. I think the other thing I'm not really that interested in cars.
Yeah,
either,
I think that's what, because that was the first big one that's what I thought. That's why it connects with a lot of people that were like they really love their car, because that's not me. Like, use a car to drive, and I fully get why people have a big interest in their cars and stuff like that, but it doesn't even feel like that's a part of it.
No.
I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen 7, so I don't feel I can comment as much. I've only seen up to 6.
Yeah, I've seen the trailers for the 2.
Yeah,
that's all you really need to see. But,
please.
The whole film is in the Fast and Furious 8 trailer, except for
crazy.
Whatever the twist is at the end.
This is a bizarre one I read this morning, and it's DC Comics and Warner Brothers are making a new animated Superman film.
Okay, and an animated one? Okay.
Yeah, and they've always finally pushed out these animated, but they normally get overlooked in a way. Like I feel like the people that only really watch them are big comic book fans. And it's called Superman versus the KKK.
What?
Yeah, I read it and I was like, I thought it was a joke, and I did some digging, and it's actually 2 stories have been done about it before.
Okay.
And it's really it was a really popular run in the comics in the 50s.
Okay.
Of like Superman battling the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
And it's very bizarre, and I just saw it come up, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it, because I don't. The biggest question here is what because it's 2017 now. Like, what reaction are DC Comics and Warner Brothers hoping for from it?
I don't know. In a way, that kind of... Oh, no, I don't want to say that. But in a way, it kind of makes me feel... They're not advertising it, but like it's putting that name of that group out there. If I was Marvel, I wouldn't want to associate with these people. I mean, I can get it. I assume these comic books, the original ones, are kind of... Because
they were more suited to the time. The 50s, but you could see why it would have been popular, because people still knew it was wrong, that like the general populace, and it was like Superman battling them. But it's such like, with all the things that DC's come up with, it's just very bizarre. I can't remember when I can't remember if the second story was written or they'd actually produced it, but that was like the 80s, I think, the late 80s. But it was so bizarre.
That's odd.
I just read it and I was like, I've got to get your opinion on that. Another one I wanted to get, because you're such an avid superhero fan, as we found out. Aquaman's finally started filming with Jason Momoa as playing Arthur Curry, with James Wan's directing. Another big fan of the Fast and Furious. But what do you think of? I think it's quite a big question that gets asked a lot recently. Is what do you think of the? I don't know how many DC films you've seen so far, but how comparing the two between DC and Marvel. It's a silly question. Like, Marvel's ahead, but like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Marvel clearly are ahead, but I think, would the Batman Begins trilogy count as DC?
No.
Okay,
I'm talking like their cinematic universes that they've created. So like that's why I feel Marvel's ahead, because they've got like Incredible Hulk was 2007 and Man of Steel was 2013.
Yeah.
So they've got a 6-year head start. Or by the time Man of Steel come out, I think they'd already. Kevin Feige and Marvel had already completed phase 1 of the cinematic universe.
Blimey, okay.
So they were already a whole thing behind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't like comparing them sometimes, because I feel like they're both going
incredibly different. Incredibly different. I think DC, it's that darker, serious vibe, and Marvel's, we're quite kooky.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about this, if I'm honest, but I
wanted to get your opinion as a filmmaker. That's more what I was getting
I like James Wan. I think he has made some good films. Don't laugh at me. Like, he's made some effective films. They might not be good films, but they're effective. They make a lot of money. They get a lot of people into cinemas and interested in these kind of, in horror. Again, I think he's one of the biggest names in horror at the moment, and other than him, there aren't a lot of
big black Hollywood names in horror at the moment.
No, so
that's true.
Fair play to him. But I think that's if he can sort of take some of his horror influences and put them into Aquaman, that'd be
I can
ridiculous.
definitely see it, because it's a dark. Like, I feel like a lot of comic book things, when you strip them back and you look at them, like, they can be quite dark. And the way that DC's going, all their films seem so dark. Like, just imagine them in my head, like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. All I can think of is like the dark visuals.
Yeah,
so, like,
they're
being
incredibly
deep
dark
underwater, like in Atlantis. That's quite scary. Like,
that could be interesting.
I'd like to see where they go.
I like the sound of that, actually.
But I don't know. It's difficult for me comparing them, because Marvel have always, like, it's difficult. That Marvel released, like, Doctor Strange came out, and every Marvel film that's come out, I've been like, I must go see it. I really want to go. Doctor Strange came out, and I was like, I still haven't seen it now.
No,
and nothing. I don't know if it's just because it's different.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I don't hate Benedict Cumberbatch, but like there was nothing that made me go, I must go see it. But all the other ones, even the bad ones, made me go, I must go see that film. And it's bizarre. And I feel like what's drawing me more to DC at the moment is just because there's not as many of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
it's more of an event.
Yeah,
because Marvel are just sort of churning things out. It's more of an event when DC go, we've actually got a film coming out.
I think it'd be interesting to see in like 10 years when like Justice League has come out and they're thinking about the next one. Like, by that point, we would have had 4 Avengers films.
Yeah, wow.
And it's bizarre, but the way I feel that DC messed up was the TV series, because they didn't link them and they kept separate. Because I watched Arrow for a long time, and I don't watch it anymore. I haven't watched the last 2 seasons, I think. But like, if they would have included that and mixed the universes like Marvel did,
yeah,
I feel like that would have elevated it, and it would have,
definitely,
because those series were so well made, and they still had this dark vibe.
I think that's what people enjoy, being able to reference stuff between things. It's creating that fully furnished world.
Because that thing, you sit down and you watch a TV series every week when it comes out, and then every 5 months this film comes out, and
exactly.
It's like, whoa, like I feel
you're
like
not having to wait too long
that's
to
the
forget
advantage.
about it.
But that's why, like, I carried on watching Daredevil on Netflix, because I knew that there was a chance that one day they could stick him in one of those films, and they've never taken that away, because that all started with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that hasn't become a very good show now. But I did watch that, and because there was a link there, it made it interesting. Like, when something happened in I think it was the second Avengers, it then influenced
that's quite cool.
the series, and then the series had to go on a different tangent because of what had happened.
I can't think of many TV series that do that,
so
actually.
it was
That's
very
quite
different, and I feel like that's where DC messed up in a way. But let's not talk about superhero films. I feel like we're talking about superhero films
that's all right.
far too much to your liking. But I wanted to end with a bit of fun.
Okay.
And talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and just I wanted to get your opinion on the trailer and what you're actually expecting from the film, and just what you think, how you feel about Disney bringing like a Star Wars film out every year.
Well, bringing a Star Wars film out every year is great. I love Star Wars. It's fantastic. Force Awakens and Rogue One are two of the best Star Wars films, arguably. If they keep that up, that's going to be amazing. But I think the Last Jedi trailer, I was quite disappointed by it, actually, purely because we didn't learn anything new. Like, are we allowed to talk spoilers?
What?
Okay, so for example, my housemate Steve, our housemate Steve, hi Steve. So he's seen the original trilogy. Yeah. He hasn't seen the prequels. He hasn't seen Rogue One, and he hasn't seen Force Awakens.
He hasn't seen Star Wars.
Yeah, so he hasn't seen Star Wars.
No.
But he saw the Last Jedi trailer, and nothing was spoilt for him at all.
That is incredible.
That says something about it. We learn nothing from that trailer. I'm gonna have to spoil it so I can voice my opinion. But like, spoilers. Rey is training with Luke. We know that. Okay, we're expecting that. That's fine. You see about 2 seconds of Oscar Isaac, about 2 seconds of Adam Driver. Captain Phasma's there, that really well-used character from the Force Awakens.
I was really disappointed.
There's nothing we learn in this trailer at all. And I think that's a shame. That's why Force Awakens the trailer for that was so exciting. It was a minute trailer, but there was just so much stuff coming through that. It was like, who are these new characters? Why is Han Solo there? Like, you're learning so much from such a short space of time. Like the Last Jedi trailer, something like 2 minutes, and you only learn something in that final 5 seconds. I won't give it away, but that's quite exciting.
Yeah,
I like that idea. That has a lot of potential, but I guess we'll see.
I was just trying to work it out on my finger how many films that would be between 6 and that have been released. So there'd be 1, 2, 3,
5.
Well, no, because 4, 5. So Steve's seen 4, 5, 6, hasn't he?
Yep.
So like you'd have 1, 2, 3,
Rogue One and
things.
Force Awakens.
That's so five films.
Maths.
And there's not and there's not a spoiler. There's no spoilers in the trailer.
It's
That's
odd.
Bizarre.
It's odd. It's someone who
5 films later.
Yeah. But I mean, even like you're talking from 4, 5, 6. The only one between them is Force Awakens.
I guess so. That's
he
true.
hasn't seen that, and still nothing's spoiled for him. So it's a well put together trailer. There's some great visuals. It's nice to see everyone's back. But no, I didn't learn anything new, and so it hasn't gotten me excited. Hopefully, if there's a new one, that'd be great. I want to see Prince Harry and Prince William in there. You heard about this?
Yeah.
It's very
bizarre.
weird. I mean, cast as stormtroopers. That was a bit of a weird one. But
that is bizarre when you bring the royal family into it. Like I remember,
I don't like that,
with Daniel Craig and stuff, and it was like, there were all these rumours of Simon Pegg and stuff like that. But it's cool with actors.
That's a bit silly.
I feel like that's taken the whole Guy Ritchie, David Beckham thing a bit too far.
Definitely. Great link.
But yeah, it's very bizarre. But yeah, thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you for
it's good fun. I enjoyed this.
I hope we can do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually,
sweet.
But yeah, I just wanted give a shout out to you, and if you want to give people your Twitter and stuff. If listen to this.
On Twitter. Oh, this is weird. I've heard people do this before, but I've never actually done it myself. So I'm at Owen Diplock on Twitter, and I'm in the process of making my website, which will be. I've got to decide now whether it'll be .com or .co.uk.
So I'd written down and check out his website, and then I just put in brackets Ask Owen because I had no idea what it was called.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I should publish it today, but it'll either be owendiplock.co.uk or owendiplock.com. I think I'm going to go for .com.
Okay, because it sounds cooler. Yeah. Did you want to say about Filmic as well?
Yeah, so I also do film reviewing. I have a dedicated film reviewing Twitter account. I've kind of got this gimmick on it where I do single tweet film reviews and just try and sum up my feelings in 140 characters. It's quite nice. So that's at Filmic on Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah, so I what I've tried and do now is what it used to be is every time I went to the cinema, quick little tweet about a film. But now I've started branching out into stuff I've seen on DVD or on telly and stuff like that. So Inside Llewyn Davis is up there. Various other stuff.
I feel like a forced plug is the best kind of plug.
Oh, definitely. It
sounded so
That's
natural.
Seamless.
But yeah, I've been Dec Flannery, but just follow me at DecoFlan on Twitter. Check out my blog. Just type in Dec Flannery blog if you want to have a read of any garbage I'm writing. Nice. Garbage. That's a
good
very
word.
American.
Yeah, good choice.
But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.